I don't know what the delay is. I don't know how long the delay is here. So I'm just waiting until one of you guys tells me that you can hear me, and then I'll start talking. Lurking. We got a lurker. We got a lurker. Hi. Hi. You can hear me. Toaster's just being a liar. A liar, pants on fire, as per usual. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Been a minute. I mean, it's not. It's been the exact... You know, it's been the exact same amount of time. Am I getting blurred out when I move there? Hold on. That was not me just kind of like lifting your chin. That was me adjusting the camera's focus. It's been the exact same amount of time as usual, but it feels like we've been gone for a while, right? Because the fact that we've had these kind of off and on hiati. And here we are. And, you know, I'm proud of us. We survived it. We have a chapter next week. All right? You know? I mean, many of you I've known for long enough, guys. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, good chapter. Good chapter. You know, I feel like hi Eric, hi everybody, what's going on, guys? I feel like we've hit a point here that was drastically needed, right? Like, I feel like we really did need this chapter. I feel like it's covered a lot of the things that I feel like was quite needed. I'm gonna be honest with you, the villains kind of like having this grand scheme that's just unfolding in the background, and I have no fucking clue what it is outside of just like, oh, it's the Dandadan or something. To me, it kind of doesn't compel in the same way that actually having a good grasp of what's happening does provide you with, right? The revelations of today kind of reframe a lot of what's already happened, right? And it puts a lot of it into perspective, at least for me, you know? It puts a lot of it into perspective. It kind of further justifies isn't the right word. The story being well written justifies itself, but it adds more weight and gravitas to the Danmara stuff, and it actually does give a little bit of credibility to the stuff that we kind of had with the Momo Small arc. So I'm quite pleased. I'm quite pleased generally about the way that this has unfolded, especially because it's all heavily involved with things like the fairy tale card, all of these things. So I'm quite excited about this chapter. You know, I don't really feel like Dandadan is near the end. I mean, it's impossible to know one way or the other, but it feels like they've only just started opening up the world. I think to end things here would be very strange, because the series has only really just hit a stride with people, I feel. Like really, in the past, like, what, year and a half, it's hit its popularity. I don't think it's near its end, necessarily. I don't see why. Every single arc that comes out, I feel like people are worried that it's at the end. I'm not that worried. I feel like there's more that this story can do. There's a big world out there that we've only just been hinted at. And I'm curious. Right? I'm curious about it. And I don't think it will go on forever either. I mean, I don't think it will go on forever and ever and ever, but I don't think it will end necessarily this year, for instance, right? I think the reason that you feel that way, I feel like the reason you feel that way is because they're dropping terms like the Dandadan, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see this as the end. I don't see it, the necessity for us to consider it near the end. And until I've got something, yeah, there's an indication. There's an indication, in my opinion, that there's something else happening, that this guy just doesn't have the gravitas of being the big boss, right? We've got a whole emperor of space aliens, you know? We've got a whole emperor of space aliens that we haven't even fucking encountered properly. Like, we've done the space globalist stuff, but that's like what, one bunch of them, right? Like, I don't see the necessity for us to be talking about that at this point, you know? And CSG is still a huge mystery. Yeah, I don't think that him working, yeah, the big boss, yeah, big boss. I don't think that him working for somebody else is the extent of his machinations. I just don't believe it. Like, why would him being a consultant for somebody else being his whole plan is kind of a wet fart. All right, I just don't buy it. I don't believe that. Yeah, I know. I Valius, totally with you. Totally with you. This, like I said earlier, I feel like this reframes quite a lot of what we've already seen from some of the previous arcs, including Damara. I feel like this really adds a lot of weight to the Damara stuff, right? It's interesting. I'm really interesting. Yeah, I do think that the vampire stuff that they were talking about obviously had to have some kind of relevance, right? I know that obviously, like Vlad, like the only person that I can really think of that anybody cares about in fiction, historically or in fiction, really, is you know, the obvious, right? Vlad the Impaler, otherwise known as the inspiration for Dracula. So I think that there is definitely something in there, especially because of the relevance of CSG in history as well, and in the mythology of you know, vampires and things like that, you know. So it's curious. I'm curious about it. I mean, I'm the Impala. That's funny. I'm interested about just generally the way that we're heading with this. My point of the prelude here, before we jump into it, by the way, those of you who are familiar with the format, I just kind of use the chapter as a loose jumping off point to discuss what's going on in the manga, what I think about the chapter, all of this kind of stuff. But if you want to follow along with it, linked in the live chat, it's on that side or it's on that side. I don't know. Linked in the live chat is the actual link that I'm using, and we'll just go through it. So you know, this is like I said, this is cool. I'm very. My point is that this chapter, I believe, was sorely needed to get us a little bit more on the balls rolling here, because up until now, the notion of the villain's plan has been very ephemeral in a way. It's been kind of up in the air. It's hard to grasp, and that's been a little exhausting when you know things are happening in the background. You just don't have a fucking clue. But yes, exactly. We are so fucking back, guys. We're back, and we've got a chapter next week. We're fucking back. How good is that? No more worrying about Rin and shit. That's a good one. Valius. Yes, Valius. We're getting the golden balls rolling. Very nice. A+. Yep, ball focus. I knew that you guys... You know, the moment that I said ball rolling, I knew that somebody would latch on to the term balls. You know? But that's Dandadan. I mean, it's to be expected, right? Sorry, I'm eating a gummy bear, guys. Yeah. Yeah, the stakes have been raised. You know, it's not even necessarily that the stakes have been just raised, but the stakes have been shown to be fucking real, right? Like, I was literally a year ago now. Rewind a year. I was eating a gummy bear. If we rewind a year, you'll remember that when we were talking about the Kazuka knives, in fact, I think it was around now that we actually got our first proper chapter as a community. But we were talking about the the Kazuka knives, and the fact that it really kind of doesn't have any weight to it, right? It doesn't have any real weight to it if it's not used, right? And now we've Momo's powers. Momo's powers are gone. Fucking Zuma's powers are gone. Fucking Rin's powers are gone, and Koki's powers are gone. Four out, and Okurun, but they're not taken by the Kazuka knives, right? But like that's like 4 out of 6. We've got Gigi and Aira left with powers out. Like, what the fuck? What's happening? But it took a while to get there, but it showed that he does have the fucking stomach for it, and I'm really pleased about that. You know, I thought that you'd just have one person's powers taken, but he had the stomach for it. Tatsu has the stomach for it, you know, and I love that. No, very soon Kinta is going to be the most powerful guy on the team. He's going to be the only guy on the team. He's going to have the great Kinta, and everyone else is going to have fuck all. You know? Yeah, you know what? Sobra, this is the time to get in. This is the time to get in. My stupid ass got caught up last year, so I had to go through the whole mini Momo arc. Obviously, I've treasured our time together, everybody, but I had to go through the fucking mini Momo arc and the tsunami guy, right? The typhoon guy. This is the best time. This is the best time, and welcome. You can suffer with us in this special kind of hell. Welcome to the special kind of hell that we all live in, day out, each week. This is more of a therapy group than it is anything. You know? But do anticipate a little bit of Nuglover, shitting on Nuglover. I know I believe that fundamentally it's a good pastime here. I'm pretty sure everybody loves it. At least that's what I feel like. Everybody loves it. But I've seen a couple of comments here and there where people kind of don't really like shitting on him. I'm gonna keep doing it because I enjoy it a lot. I also think he's super lame, and we get a lot of things to shit on in here. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you guys. But besides that, yes, of course. Also, you know, join the Discord, Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member, guys, whether you're a lurker, whether you're a commenter, free member on my Patreon to get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet to talk about Dandadan for anything, really. But anyway, yeah, I'll tell you what as well, before we jump into this, before we start talking about the actual chapter, right, I want to just say that this has revitalized a lot of discussion over there on the Discord, but also I've seen it on Reddit, I've seen it on that cursed place Twitter. Not calling it X, it's Twitter. It's crazy. But I've seen a lot of discussion, and it's really great. I really love to see it. It's much more exhilarating. The whole being in this kind of like community talking about this kind of thing is way better when we have stuff to fucking chew on, right? Yeah, we're just shitting on Old Smokey. Call it Hex because it's cursed. Yes. Anyway. So we start the chapter on the big door. The big door in the middle of the woods in which there is a mansion. It appears. A big mansion. All the artwork, by the way, is always so great in this, right? I guess it makes sense as well because the forest, and I know this is a crazy take, guys, but the forest is where trees are. I know that you guys may not be ready for that, but considering all of the crossing over with the Tree of Life and things like that, makes sense for them to be in the forest, right? Let's see. I know you want the double date. The 5-way date. The 5-way date. We're gonna get to the 5-way date one of these days. Just have faith. Have faith. Honestly, this has been a massive vindication. This whole chapter has been a massive vindication that it was going somewhere, guys. It was always going somewhere. All right? Those of us who hung on, clung on, right? No matter how much this guy tried to fucking buck us off, okay? We hung on, we clung on, and here we are, getting vindicated because shit is actually starting to illuminate. It's starting to illustrate itself to us, and that's really important, okay? That's really important. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I know, Cube, I know. Trees in the forest, bro. Crazy shit. And, obviously, in the main kind of hall is... Up until this point, we were calling him Goon, right? Up until this point, we were calling him Goon. But, guy has a name. However, what is really interesting and worth noting here, in my opinion, is the roots, right? There are obviously these huge roots that are coming from him out into the world, out into the worldy poo, which I presume is, again, a kind of symbolic representation of this Tree of Life element, right? It's very much entwined with that. I'm very curious about what exactly, where exactly this is going. King of Goons, yes, the Goon Lord Supreme, all right? The Goon Lord Supreme, bro. Yeah, the worldy poo. Don't fucking judge me. I use the word poo at the end of my words. What are you gonna do? Anyway, this is the craziest shit, right? Just like first fucking interaction, we see that this motherfucker not only has Zuma's powers, but my boy has got his hands on Momo Ayase's powers. Oh my god. What the fuck? This is crazy. My brain exploded into a million pieces seeing this shit. Right? It re-fucking characterizes everything. The context of everything is so much different now because of this chapter. It's great. This is a really good chapter just generally. Just generally for the plot is drastically needed. Okay? Yeah, well, yeah, no, Crash, this is also one of those secondary elements that I'm curious about, which is that, obviously, there is, the Tree of Life itself is this notion that, again, I'm not any kind of expert in this kind of thing, but the Tree of Life is this kind of thing that connects all people and life together, and it uses these kind of archetypal, as we see later, these kind of archetypal elements, fairy tales, as kind of like major nodes in the connective kind of system, which aligns itself really nicely with like, you know, kind of Jungian analytical psychology, this idea of archetypes, these different faces of the world, of people that make up humanity, the various different facets of humanity, each of them are kind of, what would you say, an exemplar of an emotion, which the yokai really are, that exist cross-culturally, across all of human societies, all of human cultures. That's how you have so many similar stories retold in all of these different, societies and cultures. You have the same stories being told, right? A lot of the same gods pop up, despite the fact that they have independently been created from other cultures. That kind of element that connects people together, stories, tell specific truths about the way that people connect with each other, or express themselves in the world, archetypes. And I think that is kind of what we're getting at a little bit with some of these fairy tales, right? And how they reflect each of the characters. But we'll get to that. I know that the chat's going quicker today than usual, and I'm a little bit more hyped. I'm a little bit more excited. I'm quite high energy, so I'm going to try my best to stay on top of it. You know? Now, I hear you, Tuma, but I think that the thing with Zuma losing his powers is something we're going to contend with soon, no doubt, but keeping this away from us was necessary because we needed to... I believe we needed a little bit of confusion, all right? I think we needed a little bit of insecurity in what exactly is fucking happening to get us thinking, to get us invested. And then it, like, Rin and Koki losing their powers is kind of like, oh shit, okay, fuck. I guess they are stealing powers. But this revelation now, it's not like, what's a good example? I mean, if we were to go through every single character losing their powers one by one as the villain gets closer and closer to their goal, the tension kind of slowly builds in this way where it's like, ooh. But here, oh shit, they lost two people, lost their powers. That's crazy because he's nearly fucking finished. He's got 4 of 6. You know? And it's like, that to me is like, we're a lot further ahead than I'd thought we were. The villains have been creeping around in shadows for so long, and we haven't been even aware of what's happening, much like the gang. And then, fuck, shit, they're actually nearly finished. It really puts you in the moment, right? It puts you in this spot where you're kind of like, this is actually more of a threat than I thought, right? Well, I mean, there are like, the fairy tales that I saw there weren't 9, right? Right? Let me check. Yeah, there's 6 fairy tales, right? So as far as we're aware, the 6 that he's collecting here is what we're talking about. But yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. We took it kind of like for granted that he would be fine. And I'm quite curious about what exactly has happened to Zuma, right? But that tension that you're feeling at the moment where it's like, oh shit, okay, that's fucking crazy. That's part of this reveal, right? It really puts a fire under your feet to try to figure out what exactly has been happening this whole time. I'm a big fan of this reveal. You know, it wouldn't, like, these are 2 very powerful characters. And the 2 characters that the 2 characters that the fairy tale card could not defeat in Danmara, right? Like, these are the 2 powers that defeated the, at least one of the, like group of powers that had defeated the fairy tale card in Danmara. So there's a bit of added weight to it, right? Well, I don't know what the deal with Okurun is. We'll talk about Okurun soon, right? Well, this is the thing, Tuma. I'm also quite curious about this as well. I think that Rin and Koki being attacked provides an interesting opportunity for the Kerr lady, Princess Peach, to ingratiate herself with the gang and be like, look, you guys got attacked. I can fucking help you guys out, right? It puts that kind of desperation in the characters because they're losing strength on their side, right? This is a divide and conquer kind of situation. Like, now we've gotten to the point where the only 2 people with powers are Ida and Gigi, and I assume that they are going to lose their powers. Eventually, they will lose their powers, right? Like they'll lose their powers sooner or later, like, guaranteed. Yeah, I don't know to what extent this is actually going to be like I think that Tatsu probably drew a lot of inspiration from existing ideas and mythology and kind of like concepts of like religious backbones of things, but I think that he's probably adapted it to whatever requirements he has. I don't know. We'll see, right? But yeah, Gigi losing the evil eye will be fucking horrendous, right? As well as the fact that Ida losing Acro Silky would be crazy as well. It would be absolutely wild. Because that would be very painful. And I think that's why it's been left until last with those 2. I think this is why they left those 2 until last, right? And that makes sense to me. At least, like you know, that makes some degree of sense to me. Because it will hurt more. And they're also kind of like, it feels like they're chopping their way into the main group a little bit, right? Rin and Koki losing their powers is sad, but it's not like devastating because they're not our 2 main guys, right? They're not our two main guys. Momo and Okarun have already lost their powers at this point, clearly. So the only two people that we actually really care about, Gigi and Ida, who have very emotional connections to their powers and their yokai abilities, losing that would be very painful. It's going to be very painful, right? Especially for Gigi. It's interesting. I miss Zuma as well, Julie. I miss my boy Zuma. What have they done to him? What have they done to him? Monsters. Fucking monsters, dude. I know, I was literally about to mention that. Sarah. Look at his fucking stupid fucking hands. Hand feet. It's disgusting, dude. Why did he do that? Why did they make that? This absolute goon, by the way. Absolute goon. Look at him. Disgusting ass, bro. You know? Well, I don't know that you can take Gigi's psychic powers necessarily, because they're not an external thing. That's the point. That's my reading anyway. Is Momo still has her chi. She was able to channel it through Okarun's sword. The Ogre Club, which proves to me that they still have that inside of them, even though they've lost their powers, their ability to kind of channel that chi. In Momo's case, I think if the evil eye is taken from Gigi, I still think he'll have his ability. I think he'll still have his ability to channel his own inner chi, and I think that is going to be really important. You know. Yeah, it's crazy. No, I don't think. No, I don't think Ida will die. I don't think Ida would die. It's like jumper cables, right? It's like your car battery or some shit like that. I don't drive, so I don't really know how it works. But like, you know, you get the picture. It's like, it starts to run on its own. All you're doing is sparking it back, right? Yeah. What Blissy said. What Blissy just said. I don't think that. I mean, come on, Ida's not gonna die. We've got enough stakes. We've got enough stakes at this point to justify this on its own, right? You know. Yeah, no, but this is the thing. Things like Gigi's evil gun, which combined his power with the evil eye's power, is probably not going to be accessible, because that comes from partially the evil eye. But Gigi has incredible chi pools anyway. All right? Oh, cookies on it. Yeah, I know. No, Ida is not going to die. Ida is not going to die at all. It's not going to happen. You know? I just don't believe that. It also doesn't move the story, in my opinion, in the right direction. I just don't see why that would be the right... Like, obviously, she's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. But it's interesting. We're in an interesting spot. Anyway, so CSG shows up, and he's all like, how you doing, girl? And this guy's fuck ugly. I'm just straight up with you. This guy's fuck ugly. The Vlad the Goon is fuck ugly. Look at his ass. Look at him. He's ugly as shit, dude. I'm sorry, but it's just the true. I hate to say it. I'm not... You know what I mean? And then we see that he's got Zuma's power and he's got Momo's power. And goes... interestingly refers to them as... Momo's as Alice and Zuma's as Hansel and Gretel, right? Now, this is a really interesting thing because we haven't actually put names to any of these things before, right? And I do wonder to what extent this is actually their powers name, so much as it is a reflection of that thing that I was talking about earlier, the archetypal role that they play in the facilitation of this ritual, right? Like. Are they looking for specifically these powers, or are they looking for powers that match a specific kind of what would you say, archetype, right? And to what extent could they possibly have known? To what extent could they possibly have known that these powers were the ones that they would have needed? I mean, these plans must have been in the works for a while, right? And it makes you wonder to what extent you're talking about prophecy, to what extent you're talking about things happening because they're ordained to happen or they've happened before, right? Like, there is something in here to be discussed, I think, about what's coming, about what this all is supposed to mean, right? I mean, if you're tying it into things like religious, kind of like mythology, all of these symbols as they've existed throughout human history and applied to the now, to the main characters now, you're talking about something that is ordained to happen because it's prophesized to happen or something like that. So I'm curious about what exactly the justification behind some of this stuff is. Ultimately, it presents questions and very few answers. Vlad is Momo's ex. No! He's not coming back. We're not having him back. We don't want him back. Alright, he's out of the game. He's a nobody. Well, this guy, this nobody, this absolute loser. No, it's fine. And, well, this is the thing as well, right? This is the thing as well, is CSG did try to take Okurun's powers, but then he realized that he doesn't have them. Who, me? He realized that he didn't have them. And so he gave up, essentially, but where does he fit into this, right? I don't know. Also, seeing this fucking absolute goober, right? Seeing this absolute fucking dork over here using Momo and Zuma's power. I don't respect it. That's not yours, bro. That's not yours, dude. This fucking guy over here thinks that's his. He thinks that he gets to do that shit. Ain't right. Ain't right. You know? That's a good question as well, Homer. Yeah. That's a good question as well. Whether or not it was a I think he realized he didn't have his powers, perhaps, but I don't know. We'll see, won't we? That's not his. Give it back. I was using it. But anyway, yeah, we get names attached to these things, right? And obviously, over on the Discord, people have been breaking this down, this whole thing down quite a bit. Oh, look at me go. Do you see me go? Breaking this thing down quite a bit. Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member on my Patreon to get access to the Discord. That's free. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. If you're a lurker, I know there's a bunch of you in the chat right now. Number one, thanks for lurking. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Number two, we'd love to have you over there. If not, totally fine. We're here every week on a Monday, same time. Regardless, I enjoy this. I enjoy having something to kind of talk about, you know? But anyway, nanobots. Yeah, maybe. I'm curious about all of this, but we've got this thing, right? I don't know if I can zoom in. Yeah, we got this thing over here. All right, this is like serious business. This is serious business. I'm not on live chat either. On live chat now. I don't know who was not caught in that, but anyway, so here we are. We've got the Alice in Wonderland. Obvious. We know who that is. That's Momo. Hansel and Gretel, you know, because she's thrust into a confusing kind of supernatural world that she never knew could have possibly existed, and here she is, in a lot of ways, our primary or at times primary, arguably primary protagonist, tumbling down the rabbit hole. And she also went small in Damara because she ate sweets she was not supposed to. Hansel and Gretel, kind of siblings, right? Like I don't know if there's anything deeper to that than the fact that Zuma and Futa. Oh wait, it's Unji, right? Zuma's the surname. You know what I mean. They're siblings, right? Snow White, she has all Koki. She has all manner of different woodland creatures, and by that I mean bugs and mews, and also her name translates to it. So pretty fucking spot on. By the way, people who caught that before, well done, you were spot on. Zuma is the surname, so it's Unji and Futa. The Little Mermaid, we've got obviously Rin, because she lost her voice when her friend died, Mai. When Mai died, she lost her voice. Her singing, that is. And makes sense, right? Makes sense. Now we have two more here. Two more. Now I think it's pretty obvious that the Pinocchio in this case would be the Evil Eye and Gigi, right? Not only just because the Evil Eye fucking lied to Gigi, right? The Evil Eye tricked his ass through lies, but ultimately he wants to become a real boy. He wants to live life. He never got that chance to live life and be a real boy. And that's his desire. That's his machination in this world, right? So Pinocchio, Evil Eye. And Ida would be Red Riding Hood. Because obviously her first run-in with Acro Silky was comparable to Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. Because Acro Silky wanted to fucking consume her. Wanted to eat her. And I mean, she did as well, right? But yeah, it makes sense. As well as the fact that the dress is a nice stand-in for the hood, right? Which leads us to our collection of characters. Now, where Okarun fits in here, I simply don't know. We clearly have another 2 cards down here below. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that is... Because obviously this has also been pulled from pre-existing stuff. I don't know if it's just a matter of like, just leave it. Let's just put our things on top of it. I mean, you know, I wouldn't blame Tatsu if that were the case. But this kind of makes Okarun a bit of a wild card, right? Like, this leaves out Okarun as a bit of a wild card. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether or not the system of 10 is just another one of those things that's just been left there because of the fact that this is obviously some kind of pre-existing document that he's used, right? I mean, most of this stuff probably doesn't make that much sense in combination with the things that we're looking at here, you know? I don't know. I guarantee that somebody is going to have this whole thing fucking broken down and deciphered into a overtly obsessive detail, right? But maybe there are more to come, you know? Maybe there are more to come. But what I think is really important is the fairy tale card itself. I'm trying to think of how the best way to phrase this would be, right? I think what is interesting here is whether or not the fairy tale card is necessarily an absolutely necessary component to this, right? So if you were to think about the let's pretend that this structure of cards, the whole thing together, is the Dandadan, right? Now, we're presuming that the only pathway to the facilitation of the Dandadan is through the creation of or through grabbing these characters that match these specific archetypes, right? I imagine that the fairy tale card is a necessary component in kind of creating those connective tissues between things, but is this the only kind of like system or potential pathway to that? Like, I don't think so, right? Yeah, like the fairy tale card is what is providing the structure, exactly, which is the conduit. Let's say it's the conduit for pulling all of these powers together, right? That to me screams that other potential conduits could exist. This is just one flavor of it, right? Which is a fairy tale one, in this case. In reality, what you're looking at are various different archetypes of characters, figures throughout human fiction in this case. This is the Disney variant of the Dandadan, right? Exactly. This may be a mere prototype of what we are looking at, right? Of the potential of this. But what it clearly does is it connects all of these different archetypal characters and their powers together and channels it into one character, which is Vlad in this case. CSG has his own reasons. I fundamentally believe it, right? You know? Like for example, he says here on this chapter that to draw out the intrinsic power of the fairy tale card, we need 6 curses, right? Now, who's to fucking say that this is the only fucking card, the only power that can do this? There may be more powerful cards, more powerful abilities that can draw out power from more curses, right? Do you know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily just this. I'm curious about how why this specifically, maybe this version of whatever it is, the Dandadan or whatever, this version of it requires, this version of it may require these specific archetypal characters, these specific types of characters, but there's no guarantee that other versions of it would require this, or require these specific powers. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? It's kind of a difficult thing to express or to explain. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. This is the thing. To what extent are these powers necessary versus the characters, right? That they came from. Why do you know that people are going to get these powers? Like CSG gave Koki her powers, and it wasn't until she used it in its fullest potential under heightened stress. Like that whole thing with Koki, and yeah, the whole thing with Koki was designed, presumably, to create enough tension and conflict in her life to have her draw out her truest potential, to fully realize the power of the Lord of the Flies, so that they could then later fucking harvest that back out of her, right? Like, it feels to me like this is all that makes more sense now, you know? And I do wonder to what and also creating the whole issue with Momo needing to go to a specific place, beating the shit out of Seiko, was all another thing designed to get her into such a position whereas she would willingly give up her powers to these guys so that they could get it, right? Like, they know what they're doing. The whole thing makes more sense now. Yes, exactly. They gave them to them so that they could then grow their powers, realize their powers to a degree where they could harvest them for this shit. Yeah, it shit's fucked up. But it gives all of that shit that we were going through earlier, the small Momo stuff, that whole escapade, which obviously was kind of difficult to really wrap your head around at the time, it gives it more purpose retroactively. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like it was going somewhere, and it makes the plan that they had, their whole idea, their whole system from the beginning, it doesn't feel so up in the air. It feels like there was something happening with intention in the background, and we were just all pawns to somebody else's game. It's interesting as fuck. And this is what I mean, though, when I say that this feels like a necessary chapter. This feels like a necessary chapter to me. You know? Yeah, I know. Tell me about it, Arsenio. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, we as a community have been like, oh shit, we're finally gonna get a Momo and Okurun chapter, a Momokurun chapter, right? We still haven't really had one. Like, a proper, actual, real Momo, right? We haven't had a full... Like, really, I know that we kind of, like, pretend that we've had Momokurun chapters because we've had them romantically kind of hinting towards something, but we've not had it. We've not had it, not really. You know what, guys, I'm gonna say it. I'm going back on it. I'm going back on it now. I've decided we have not had a Momokurun chapter. We've not had a full-blown Momokurun chapter ever as a community. I'm saying it. I'm sorry. I'm reversing course on it. We've not had one yet. Sorry, Nachan. Thanks, Jenny. Jenny! Employee of the week. Thanks, Jenny. I've decided we've reversed course. We've not had an official Momokurun chapter. We've just had half measures. We've had half measures and nothing else. It's sealed now, yeah. That's it. We've made a deal. We've made a deal now. Toaster. The slice of life stuff was fucking amazing. But it was just a fraction of the real fucking deal. It's just a small little fraction of it. It's just seasoning. You've had the starter. Exactly. I'm apologizing to you because of the crash out that Blissy highlighted, which you don't seem to be doing right now, which is shocking and disappointing to me. You know? And we don't know the full backgrounds of them. That's true. Hunger is the best spice. Yes, desperation is the best spice. Arsenio, wow, thank you. Welcome to Yokai Power User tier. Thank you. That's amazing. That's amazing to me. Thank you. I love that. That honestly, like, it means a lot to me to see that there are so many people who are still sticking with me, sticking with the channel, sticking with what we're doing here. It really does mean a lot to me to see that, just based on the fact that you know, that's the thing that keeps things going. I'm working on more content as we speak. I've actually had a very good day with writing today, and you know, it just means a lot to me to see that. So thank you. It means a lot. Thank you, Arsenio. And you know, while we're here, I'm also going to thank the rest of the amazing people who have been making this fucking thing keep rolling. All right, even during the dark hiatus chapters, we've had Angle, Blissycat, Danny, Fifth Gram, Hoopster, I Fell in a Hole, that's Sarah, It's LOL Plays, Julie the Bluely, Orbis, Otacon Fan number 3, Toaster, Plague Doctor, Quentin Tarantado, Simon from the game Simon Says, Squid Empress Jellies, Wolf, your favorite scented candle, Zero, I can't read your name currently, but Jersey, Tim, Kai, and now Arsenio. And then times 2, we've got Pickle, and we've got my boy Pickle. Twice. I'll say his name again. That's Pickle. Alright? The big Pickle himself. That's 4 times. But thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I'd read your name, the actual name anyway. Yeah, no, this is what I was saying. This is what I was saying earlier when we were talking about the cards, in regards to Momo, right? Is that I guess that actually makes sense because she's lost her memory as well. But for me, since day one, Momo has been our entryway into this world. It's through her that we've been able to experience all of these things as we've witnessed her tumbling down the rabbit hole. And as that glass shattered for her, she crossed over, right? Like, really, if you think about it, like, the glass shattering moment in the anime is like walking through the looking glass. We're in Wonderland now, and it's through Momo Ayase that we were able to experience any of this, as well as the fact that she ate food that made her small, right? In literal fucking Wonderland. So, yeah, I'm pretty say the Discord name. Hold up. Pickle's name wasn't pomaded. Alright. You got it. Pickle's name wasn't pomaded. We're in Dandadan now. Valius. Yes. I like that. Dandaland. Big fan of that. Also, Arsenio, by the way, I'm a big fan of lurkers. Big fan of people who lurk in the without commenting. I appreciate all of you, right? I know that there are a bunch of you right now who aren't commenting, that are just watching or listening while you're doing the dishes or something. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. You know? And this is where we're at, right, Nachan, is where does my boy Okarun fit into this shit, right? Where does he fit into this? That's true, Cash Crash. You do speak sometimes. That's true. He's right. Gosh darn, he's right. Yeah, I knew you were doing the dishes because I listen to stuff and watch stuff like this when I'm doing the dishes, right? Anyway, where does Okarun fit in? The knight in shining armor. He's the prince. He's the prince. He's the hero. He's the fucking all of these stories, right? He's the hero, dude. Maybe. In the Discord, Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member to get access to the Discord. That's a free member on my Patreon to get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. On that note, Danny, yes, Danny from Danny Dan. I'm surprised that Danny hasn't changed her name to Danny Dan yet. You should do that. Made a really interesting comment that kind of drew parallels between Okarun's story and that of King Arthur. And if you think about it, he has kind of brought people together in a round table sort of kind of like capacity, right? Hold on real quick. You stay right there. I'll be 30 seconds. Maybe less than that. Stay right there. If I see that number drop, I'm going to be very upset with you. By Jove, it increased. The number increased. What the fuck? What the hell? Are you telling me that you guys prefer the fucking chair? You guys prefer the fucking chair over me, over your boy? That's crazy, dude. That's fucking nutty, bro. I know. It's a good chair. It's a good bloody chair. Chair can't. Right, that's enough. Enough glazing the chair. Fucking hell. I'm gonna throw this thing out later. That'll show it who's boss. Empty chair. No. Right. Okay. What were we at? Where were we at? Yeah, no, so it's interesting. I'm intrigued by where we're at with this, right? Because obviously the fairy tale, and you know what's great? I've already said, you fucking people with the chair content this is horrendous. I'm not. Fame's getting too sharp. Sharper. No. King Arthur. Well, King Arthur was not a real thing. It didn't actually happen. So it's basically a fairy tale, right? I mean, like the Sword and the Stone, right? Disney made that shit. This is basically just the Disney card. The Disney card. You know? Yeah, we've been doing the tarot thing for a while now. So we'll get back to the tarot thing after this. Well, I mean, what is a fairy tale besides just the mythological thing, right? Like, it all comes from mythology based in some kind of cultural thing. But anyway, doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Splitting hairs, in my opinion. What really matters here is... And look, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Yeah, I don't mean Disney literally. I mean, like, all of these stories existed before Disney got their hands on it, but that's not really important here. Alright, catch your support. But more importantly is I'm glad that we are making the whole fairy tale card work, you know? Like bringing that back in a capacity that kind of makes sense. It makes that whole escapade, that whole side quest, essentially, make more sense, because it makes sense now as to why CSG wanted that card out of there in the first place, man. Ever since all of this shit, ever since day one that we see this guy show up at the end of the Space Globalist arc, it's all fucking meant something, dude. It's always been going somewhere, dude. You know? And here we are, going somewhere. Ever since... No, not Sky on the chair. Next week, I will bring back Skycam. Alright? I'll bring Skycam back next week for you guys. But ever since the Space Globalist arc, this has meant something. This guy has been fucking working in the background. He's been working in the background. I don't know, Crash. This is a good question. How far back does his influence even go? You know? How far does his influence even fucking go? But we know that he basically designed the fairy tale card, the damn Mara situation, to get the card out. And he knew about Okarun's ball. He knew about all of this shit in order to draw out Zuma's powers, in order to get the card out, in order to drag all of the characters in. All of this shit has meant something. He's been involved in all of this shit, and now it's all kind of adding up towards something. The whole fairy tale card from the first place has meant something, right? And it's I don't know, dude. Like, this guy is fucked up. I don't know where any of this shit fits together exactly, but we are seeing, at least the fog of war is retreating somewhat, and we're able to see where at least some of the fucking, some of the other pieces on the board are, right? It's very interesting. And we also know what it's, at least this part of it is in service to. But I don't think that this is necessarily it for him. I think that this must serve some grander purpose. It has to, you know? Maybe. No, you could be right, Graver. You could be right. Like, I don't know. I'm curious about exactly what all of this means. Yeah, I mean, the question to me is why CSG was working with them in any capacity, right? Like, what was he doing in the first place? What has any of this been? It is in service to something greater that only he seems to know the answer to. I don't know. My point is that at least since the end of Space Globalist, at least since the end of the Space Globalist arc, this has been kind of on the cards since then. And getting the Fairy Tale card out of Danmara was part of that. And to do that, he needed to know about the gang. I don't know how far this fucking thing goes. I know I'm like, it feels like kind of God things, doesn't it? It feels like aspirations for godhood. I think he wants to fucking know everything. I think he wants to know everything, you know? Yeah, this is it. This is it, Homer. Exactly. This guy, this is what I was thinking as well. What our only current avenue into knowing anything about CSG is Turbo Granny. It's the only thing. Like, that is she's got a history with him. The moment that he first showed up is the only reason we even knew about him is because of her. She's got a history with this fucking dweeb, all right? And she's back. She's back. She's gonna have to tell us something. She's back, and she knew enough to go and try to save Rin and Koki, which means she knows about something happening that we clearly don't have the pieces to, right? I don't know if Rokuro would know. Maybe he's got something on it. I don't know. Who's involved with this shit, you know? It's interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah, the Serpos know about CSG, but I don't know to what extent they know about his plans, right? Or his history, you know? It's interesting is my overall point. I mean, even here on this page, and we've been on this page for ages now, by the way, guys. Even on this page, he just says that he hired CSG as a fucking consultant, right? That means this is not his mastermind plan. He hired him as a fucking consultant to just help his ass, to help his broke ass, which means that this guy is not the big bad. I think that we are gonna. All right, Cube, catch up. I do think that we're gonna get to a point where this guy is going to. This guy is kind of like the big bad of this specific section of the story, and I do think that the gang are gonna have to fucking whoop his ass. All right, I think Okarun's gonna get his powers back by the end of this whole thing, right? By the end of this whole thing, Okarun's gonna get his powers back, and I think that that's gonna be important to unlocking Momo's powers if we're really going back into. If we're really going back into the whole fairy tale thing, all right? Now, I had originally wrote this off as being too kind of like whimsical, right? Like, I thought it was too whimsical, but we're firmly back in the fairy tale fucking world now. And we're talking about characters as they are fairy tale archetypes, right? Archetypes of various different parts of fiction. We're talking about, it very possibly could be True Love's Kiss. It feels like we're going in that direction. I'm not mad about that because they made it thematically work. I doubted it initially. I doubted it heavily initially because it didn't feel like it had any specific reading to make sense, right? But now we're in this kind of thing. It feels like it could be. It's not copium, bro. It's hopium, brother. It may be. If you name it that. But in my opinion, it's more about the capacity for Momo to remember things. It's clear, they've made it clear, that Momo's memories are heavily tied to her powers. We've got that in this chapter. But more importantly, she still has some degree of recollection of things. She has some degree of recollection of Okarun. Really. And I think that we've all been of the mind, up until exactly now anyway, that it all feels like it's heading into a direction where Momo's memories being restored through her relationship with Okarun is important. You know? I know, I don't know why we all kind of like, and I've seen a bit of it recently, just generally. I feel like people just use the fucking words from various different stories and writing philosophy to just kind of write stuff off as just storytelling 101, right? Like, yeah, so it's a cliche. Fucking cliches exist, bro, because some of them work. Cliches aren't bad if you do them right. The reason it's a cliche is because people fucking use it. People write it, you know? Like the good beating evil is technically a fucking cliche, you know? Like, any of these things are cliche. In reality, I mean, anime is riddled with cliches. The memory loss is a cliche or a trope, but it means nothing. None of these things mean anything. What you're talking about is a cliche done badly, right? Or a trope done badly. It doesn't mean anything to me unless it's done badly. The only reason you're attributing your own meta-narrative, your own meta-reading, your own reading of the meta-narrative to somehow discount the actual narrative itself. That makes no sense to me. That makes no fucking sense to me. Because what you're talking about, if you say copium, what you're talking about is you want something in this story to possibly happen. Yeah, alright. Oh, I want Frodo to fucking throw the ring into Mount Doom. Copium much? Like, come on. Yeah. What? Are we supposed to assume that after her powers were stolen, she lost her memories because in the dream world she remember? I don't know what you mean. Becoming straight up, I don't know what you mean. Anyway, whatever. Point is that we're firmly inside of a thematic kind of like of themes of fairy tale, themes of that level of whimsy. Yeah, Lord of the Rings mentioned. Yes. Perfect, by the way. Perfect. That's a perfect example of a cliche or a trope. All right. Anyway, I don't really... Yeah, her memory loss happened after she got big. That's the whole point. That's what we got from this chapter. Did you read the chapter? Anyway, my point is, if her memories are still there, her losing her powers meant she lost her memories. If there are shades of her... If there are shades of her... if there are shades of that memory still there, then... If they're linked to the powers, then that means that there are shades of her powers as well, you know? It just doesn't, to me, I just don't see how writing something off as a trope or a cliche really means anything to anyone outside of you trying to attribute some kind of meta-narrative, some kind of meta-reading to it, like analyzing the meta of it. And that means nothing to me, because it's about, do you stick the landing of something by writing it well? And to me, this series has stuck the fucking landing every time. Every time. Means nothing. Anyway. Storytelling 101. Anyway. He's been hired as a bitch-ass fucking consultant, which is not the extent of this man's fucking aspirations in life. CSG the consultant. It just doesn't, you know what I mean? It just doesn't work. And I'm curious what his stake in this is. This guy, the goon, Vlad the Impaler, is what we're seemingly presuming he is so far. And look, we got Jack the Ripper, right? So I'll go with it. I'll roll with it. Not to mention that there is like there is some degree of yeah, no, exactly. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. By the way, we're quite a distance into the stream now, and here we are. We're still not even nearly done with it, and that means that there's a lot to say, in my opinion. You know? Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, like I said, if a trope's done badly, you recognize it as a trope. Do you know what I mean? Like, you recognize it as a trope when it's done badly. If it's well written, it just feels like good writing. My point is, if we're going to start attributing trope, cliche, all of this shit to the story before it fucking happens, all you're doing is going into the story with a cynical perception. And I don't like going into to things I care about with cynicism. I want to go into it with, you can call it fucking copium if you want. I genuinely believe, I genuinely will ascribe the term hopium to it, because I'm going into this hoping that the story is fucking good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going into it like trying to fucking like just go, oh, I wonder how this series is gonna disappoint me today. Nice try, but that's a trope. Means nothing to me. I'm not having a go at you, Graver, for the record. All right, for the record, I'm not trying to like. I feel like we're in agreement. I'm just kind of like expressing what I mean, and I apologize if I'm coming off as a bit, if I'm coming off a bit coarse. I don't mean to. Yes, exactly. Wolf, worm, my boy. Exactly. But I don't mean to come off as coarse or as though I'm chastising. I'm just trying to express what I mean, and I'm a bit verbose and a little bit what would you say, abrasive at times. Yeah, we totally agree. Exactly. But anyway, moving on. This is the point, right? Like, this is the point where he's like, by the way, CSG, because this guy strikes me as a bit, and this fuck off, Toaster. Was that fucking concise enough for you, bitch? Anyway, point is, this guy is clearly a bit of a dum-dum, which is how I know that this guy is not... Yes, exactly. No, that's it. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, Barty. Like, this guy is definitely not the main guy, right? People talking about, oh, is this the end of Dandadan? This guy... This is the guy that you want to run with? He's a fucking moron. This guy's an idiot. He's like, duh. Why are you putting powers into people just to steal them back? It seems like a waste of effort. And it's like, well, there's obviously something else happening here, but also so that these powers can mature, perhaps, so that they can intensify. I don't know. Maybe he's got even more reasons for that, right? But I don't know. No, yeah, that is it, Viscid. Like, that is what I've taken away from this. I think that's what most people have taken away from this chapter, is that it's about her powers being taken that took away her memories, right? Not her getting big, you know? Like, the group of people who were there to make her big aren't all working for CSG. It is this woman here, the shinobi, who is responsible for Momo losing her powers, because she told her about Seiko, and it makes the whole thing, Seiko getting so hurt before, really take on a new significance, right? It takes on more significance because of the fact that that feels like a plan as well. That feels like it was part of the plan as well, you know? It's crazy. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, we're still getting new characters, which is also pretty fucking wild. Yeah, I mean, I feel like CSG has something else that he's doing, right? He's doing something else, and this feels like he's using this guy for some other fucking reason. Perhaps he's using this guy, like was said earlier, as an experiment to prove that it works, right? To prove that this fucking works. This whole idea works, right? So maybe he's got bigger plans of a similar sort, and this is just a mere prototype of what it is that he's planning. I do not know, all right? It's crazy. It's crazy. Also, for the record, like, you know, you can't take it away. What you cannot take away from the bad guys here, all right? And like, you know, I hate to admit it, but they're a pretty fine looking bunch. Evil, normally, apart from this guy, apart from this fucking disgusting monster, he swallowed, he's been taking in everybody's powers, but he didn't have to take in everybody's fucking ugly as well, because everybody else on the bad guy team is looking kind of, you know what I mean? They're looking pretty good. They're a good-looking bunch. You gotta hand it to them, you know? Like, it's crazy stuff. Yeah, I hate Nuglover. I hate Nuglover so much, but, you know, and it's also kind of cringe that he's clearly made himself look like CSG, which is really bad. All right, no. Hey, look, it's fine. All right, the baddies are a bunch of baddies. Exactly, Toaster. I'm not gonna deny them that. But what we've got a confirmation of here is that Nuglover is just straight up making himself look like CSG. It's like his fucking older brother that he's trying to copy. It's really embarrassing. All right, like, even Baron is like a lower status than Count. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, guys. While CSG and the Red Baron may not be mogging on each other looks max wise, it's undeniable that CSG is status. He's status mogging. The Nuglover, and he's also jester maxing him. What with the glasses and stuff, he looks a lot more distinguished. You know, I ain't simping for all. Like, I'm just saying. Like, status mugging. Yeah, he's status mugging him. What am I gonna say? Look, all I'm saying is that you know, the Shinobi's it's good looking character. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say that. You know, and like I said, the bad guys have a general kind of like high level in attractiveness kind of thing. I don't know what to say. Like they're a good looking bunch. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Yes. Yeah, no, that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's a bit of status mogging, looks maxing, and jester maxing happening here. That's all. That's all. That's all. That's what I'm saying. Exactly, Crash. Exactly, Crash. Thank you. All right. Thank you. You know, I'm just objective here. Anyway, point is, she shows up and she's all like, my liege, the Red Baron has arrived. And it's great. Everybody bows down in front of him, which is crazy. Exactly, Yasmin. Exactly, Yasmin. Except for this guy. Except for the guy, the Vlad. Vlad is ugly. He is an ugly bitch, all right? I'm sorry, he is. Valius, no, come on, man. Come on, man. It's still me. It's still me. Don't leave. I'm just picking up all the new terminology from what's hip. From what's hip. You know? That's all. That's all. He's taken in all of their ugly to make himself more powerful. Exactly. Exactly my point. But anyway, I don't know. I really hate Nuglover, and I get like, honestly, the fact that he has kind of made himself, like, again, the guy's made out of smoke. He can make himself look like anything, and he made himself look like CSG. Bro, it's embarrassing, dude. He also can't stop fucking calling himself the Red Baron. It's not catching on. It's not catching on. It's like, it's not catching on. The Red Baron thing, nobody calls you that except you, dude. And apparently her, but she seems kind of depressed. All right. It's like, it's just not. You know what's really bad? This is, I genuinely think that this guy is the most embarrassing character, and I think that Tatsu knows it because fucking Vlad over here goes, oh fuck yeah, it's the Red Baron, and he's like, oh, he called me it, and it's like, bro, no, you did not just fold. You did not just fold at the ugliest guy around, calling you by the name that you won't stop calling yourself, dude. It's crazy, dude. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that he fucking crumbled. He fucking folded like a deck chair at that. Is crazy to me. That's absurd. That is absurd. The red bum, yeah. And then literally CSG's all like old heavy smoker. It's not even clever. It's not even clever. His idol. Think about this, right? It's like if you fashion yourself to look like someone else, and you're like, oh, please, I hope that they refer to me in a respectful way and acknowledge my great work, and then they just say, yo, whatever your name is, dickhead, bring over my fucking USB cable. I need to charge my phone. Like, it would break you into pieces, dude. It would break you into pieces. He gave himself a nickname, it never caught on, and now people call him Nuglover, and also old heavy smoker. Like I said, it's not even clever. It's just saying you stink of smoke all the time. Oh, it's embarrassing, dude. It's like, and then he's like, why won't you call me it? Why won't you call me Red Baron? And he's all like, I'm gonna ignore what you just said. I'm gonna call you old heavy smoker again. He doesn't even fucking contend with it. He doesn't even go, yeah, I prefer not to. He just goes, shut up, old heavy smoker. Silence, old heavy smoker. Even Raiden didn't get this level of disrespect. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's it. And I love that we're all on board with it. Everybody's on board with it. Even my boy Tatsu is on board with shitting all over this guy. Old heavy smoker. I can't even. It's such an obtuse thing to call someone. It's not even clever or rhymes or anything. Nuglover, certain ring to it, right? Old heavy smoker is so much more. You're going out of your way to be a fucking nuisance toward him. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's his idol, right? This is like fucking Stan, isn't it? This is his Stan moment, you know? It's crazy. Well, yeah, no, I don't mean literally his smell, but he probably does reek of smoke, to be fair. He's made out of it. He probably also reeks of sewer gas because he's been spending so much time in the sewer trying to escape poop enemies, right? Yeah, I know. It's because there's a cigarette brand. That's it. It's because it's a cigarette brand, dude. Right? But also, Baron, Count, it has a name that's got a status attached to it that sounds uppity. But in reality, it's actually a fairly low rank compared to Count. Anyway, you know, I've done a lot of shitting on this character, so I'm not going to go into it too much. I don't think, but I might do. Oh, you know what? Actually, no, it gets really annoying here. It's the lowest noble rank. That's crazy. That's like you're in the club, but you're not on the team, little bro. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, he's all like, I have my pride too, you know. And as a warrior, I can't accept defeat and back down. Bro, you got your ass kicked. Even in that, he's like, in his mind, he's all like, oh yeah, I fucking took their powers. Bro, you got your ass kicked. You nearly shat yourself. You nearly shat yourself, dude. And you had to escape in the fucking shit pipes. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good. I mean, in his, he got plop-plopped, exactly, that's what I'm saying. In his first fight, all of his fucking moves were like, oh, I'm doing smoke move. I'm doing cigarette move 12, right? And, like, after that fight, after he got his shit pushed in, right? After he got his shit pushed in, he stopped calling his moves after cigarettes. And he started to kind of just be like, I'm just gonna not do that anymore. But he still, rather than getting his shit pushed in, he got it pushed out in that last fight, and he had to escape in the shit pipes. What a powerful guy! What a powerful guy! Fucking loser. He's like, oh, I'm a warrior though. It's like, no, you're not. You're a fucking dog, dude. And then she's all like, can you just give me the knives? You reek of smoke. And he's like, yeah, all right. And then it turns out that Shinobi, that being Shinobi, is the one who brought the powers to of Momo and of Zuma. And she's been there. She was there the whole time, guys. She was there the whole time. She's able to I guess, shapeshift, right? Like, that's seemingly her whole thing, even though we do see her talking to Momo in some kind of other realm inside of her own head or something like that, right? Sorry, was something... something like that. So she must have more powers than that. Like, she's lying. But as Momo big now, she also was left on her own to with Momo, and it was at that point that she went inside of her mind, talked to her in her fucking mind palace, and then basically tricked her. She was all like, oh, by the way, your grandma is suffering severely, and you need to yield in order to save her. I know, lying. What will they think of next? Yeah, exactly. She kept it simple. No, you're right. No, he's right. Like, she's way better than he is, right? He's a dog. That's a good point, Crash. I actually quite like that. That's pretty cool. You know? But anyway, so she tricked Momo into handing over her powers, through whatever this is, pretending to make her pray and acknowledge her own defeat in the face of earth and nature, and that's how they managed to access her powers and to steal them. And then she's all like explaining how fucking good her plan was, and it is a good plan, to be fair. You can't fault her. She fucking nailed it. He's all like, I was humiliated and you weren't even there to help me. Why didn't you help me? He was too busy fucking sniffing his own fucking farts about how he can't lose a fight before he lost his only fight that he'd ever been in. And he's all like, I was humiliated in front of his dad, by the way. He's saying this in front of his fucking older brother, his idol. He's all like, I got my ass kicked. Where were you? And she's all like, sorry, bro. That's not my kind of thing, dude. Like, you shouldn't have got into the fight, dude. I know, it's great. You love it. You'd love to see it. You love to see it. Yeah, with his little fucking... Yeah, exactly. After that last fight, he's gonna need a nappy. A diaper. But anyway, you see, I changed it from just nappy to diaper so that my international friends can also make fun of him too. Don't worry, guys. Anyway, then the only guy who ever called him Red Baron is all like, can you shut the fuck up? You're giving me a headache. She's done a good job, and you've done okay as well. Now, and then he's all like, and now I want those powers in me, please. He's very quick to say he wants things, like, you know what I mean? Like, the language they use here, I think, is explicitly for Tatsu's LOL. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Mooney. That's it. Love that. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that, by the way, Mooney. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me to know that in multiple different versions of the translation, we can all revel in the fact that he got humiliated and he got embarrassed saying it in front of his idol, right? Anyway, I feel like Shinobi, just generally, by the way, I feel like Shinobi has a lot of features that look like Momo. Like, am I crazy? Right? Like, I know her hair's going the other way, and it's kind of hard to tell with the manga and stuff, right? Shinobi is the chameleon. Don't say that. Do not say that for even a second, Sarah. No, do not say that. Don't say that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the characters do all look pretty similar, to be fair. But I think, I don't know, and maybe it's just because these two are like, I think it might be the hair doing that. I don't know. But anyway, I suppose it doesn't really matter. She does look a bit like Ida as well. I guess they do all look quite similar. Anyway. Yeah, it's probably his style. You're right, Kills. Anyway, she injects the knives into some kind of computer device, which is even stranger, right? Because I thought this was a completely analog thing. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that they've got, like, a whole fucking digital downloadable catalog of powers, right? Like fucking PlayStation Now or something. Like, you can just go on and just stream your powers or whatever. You know? He got Netflix injected into his fucking ass. But here it is. Also, this, like I said, this is, like, I feel like Tatsu wrote this explicitly for like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's, I've already seen memes of this shit. Online. Yeah, no, we need Mothman, guys. We need Mothman. Just Tatsu being silly, exactly. And then, here we are. Oh, whoa. No, camera move. Here we are, guys. This is it. He's got 4 of the powers now. The Brella Boy, Lord of the Flies, Momo's powers, which has taken on a much more sinister appearance, and also, oh, go back. He's also got Mai. That's really sad as well, because it's very strange that she's taken on her human form here, for the record, right? It's a bit odd that she's taken on her human form. But, yeah, it's crazy where we're at. You know? It's crazy. I'm a big fan of this chapter, honestly. Like I think next week we're probably gonna get back to the main crew, right? Yeah, he's still umbrellas, brollies. That's crazy. I'm a big fan of this chapter because I feel like it was absolutely necessary for us to get a little bit of insight into what the bad guys are doing. As I said, I don't think that this is CSG's big move. I think that this is a prototype of something else. I think we've got a lot further to go still. I don't see this guy as the main guy. Like, he's too stupid to be the main guy. He clearly, like, this guy, Vlad, clearly doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't seem to be really in on the whole thing. And CSG, working as a consultant, feels like he's doing this for his own ends, not just because he wants to make a couple of bucks. Not because he just wants to get a holiday home. You know? Not because he wants a Jet 2 holiday. Who owns this fucking brain cell? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this chapter was great. Vizin, I don't know how they're going to stop this guy. I mean, honestly, Okrun's powers, Okrun getting his powers back is going to be absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial to defeating this guy. Right? To defeating this guy, Okrun getting his powers back is going to be absolutely instrumental. Toto, I hear you. I hear you, Toto, and I agree. It was goated. This has given us a lot of stuff to talk about in the Discord. Patreon link in the description. Join my Patreon as a free member to get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. But yeah, no. So here's the clubhouse. We'll use the clubhouse at least 3 times. At least 3 times. Yeah, this isn't his final play. This feels like it's just a prototype of something else. He's testing this out for something, you know? That's a cola bottle. That's my favorite one. Favorite one. See these cola bottles? They're the bomb. Yeah. 720. Totally. I hear what you mean. I feel like this, the whole Kerr and everything like that are kind of like in the background, right? I'm glad that we all agree that cola bottles are goated. This has been a great chapter, especially since recently. Recently, it's kind of been lagging just because of the whole hiatus. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm just... There you go, guys. Please feel free to fill in the form, guys. To fill in your opinions on what we're looking at here. No, more star mean more good. More star mean more good. Fizzy could be better. Possibly. Say the line, Bart. Yeah. No, Valius. No. 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 Bad Valius. But yeah, no. You know, it's been. By the way, anybody who's not joined the Discord, I'd love to have you guys over there. We talk about Dandadan all the time. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. Patreon link in the description. Join as a free member to get access to the Discord. Even if you want to lurk there, for the lurkers in the audience, even if you want to lurk, you know, it's the best place to stay up to date with the channel as well as regarding what I'm doing. Especially anybody who's on Dandagang or who's on Yokai Power Tier user, those levels get special access to some of the higher tier stuff. And that also includes things like insight into what I'm doing, what I'm working on, and you'll also get access to things like trailers and previews ahead of everybody else. So yeah, Anyway, excited to see you over there, 720, and everybody else. And everybody else. Yes, exactly. I don't think that Zuma will have amnesia. I think the amnesia thing is going to be unique to Momo. Well, if you have joined the Discord, Graver, it's a little turbo granny eating a sando. But if you haven't joined, please do join. It'd be great to have you over there. I don't think you'll have amnesia, but because I think everybody got their powers from an external source, right? Momo got her powers from inside of her. They're tied to her internally, emotionally. And for me, that's the difference. Is because it's so innately tied to who she is, losing that is losing... awakening that power was a really big emotional step for her. Removing those powers also means reverting that. You can't get the toothpaste back into the tube. Do you know what I mean? You can't... Her awakening to those powers is not something that is just... You can just switch off the powers and also switch off her and keep the awakening aspect to her, right? Her kind of emotional kind of turning a corner. In order to remove her access to the powers, you also need to revert and take away that element of her. Of herself, right? Now the question is whether or not she still has those powers inside of her in some capacity. Can you take those powers away from her, right? I don't know. She's obviously very important. Like, we still don't know what the id Cosmos is, and I don't think that this whole thing that we're looking at here, I don't think this is necessarily tied to it. I think that is part of the greater plan that CSG is involved in. Whatever this is will get wrapped up before we work on that stuff, right? Also, yes, we've got the dinner stream and stuff to talk about, but when I get my next video out, guys, we'll talk about the dinner stream. Okay? We'll talk about the dinner stream. But I need to get that next video out. I made massive progress on the script today. I imagine I'll be finished with it tomorrow. And then I can get it into full production. So, stay tuned. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm curious about the way that this whole thing's going to work. But honestly, I'm just excited. I'm just excited because now that we know this, and Rin and Koki have both lost their powers, we know Zuma has lost his powers, all of this stuff, the dinner stream, I'll inform you on the Discord about that, Eric. We'll talk about it later. But we've made an agreement on what that would look like. But so we've kind of like hit a point now where the plans have actually started to illustrate themselves. Characters have suffered from the plan. It puts a bit of momentum into the plot. And I suspect things are going to start moving soon, right? Things are going to start actually moving soon. Which I'm very excited about. You know? I'm very keen to see the plot move forward. You know? I think that this was a very crucial step. And a necessary one. For the record. Because, it feels like for too long we've just been sat still. Do you know what I mean? You got to the Patreon. Glad to hear it, Toto. Just join as a free member on Patreon, and the Discord link is attached to the pinned post, and that link will get you through to the Discord. I maybe Mooney, maybe, but I suspect that I mean, please continue, obviously, but I suspect that it's more tied to her powers being taken. Everybody else has got theirs from an external source, except for her. She got it from inside, you know? I don't know. Shit's crazy. Or did she? That's a good question. Crash. Fuck knows anymore. I'm fucking locked in though. This is the best chapter we've had since, well, actually, we have had some pretty good slice of life stuff recently. But this is like the best kind of like, you know, this is the best kind of story related chapter, I think, in a while. I'm just glad to know a little bit about what's happening here. You know what I mean? Good soup. Good soup. No, I hear you, Orbis, but I mean like... for the plot, you know? Like, obviously, the Momokurun stuff is great, but again, I said it earlier, but I've retroactively removed the notion that we have had a full-blown Momokurun chapter. We haven't. The last Momokurun chapter, the last full-blown Momo and Okurun chapter, was when he gave her that look when they were departing. And that was over a year ago now, guys. That shit's fucking crazy. That was over a year ago now. I knew that look that they gave each other, when they were departing 2 years ago. I don't think it was 2 years ago. I think it was last year. I think it was last year. When he gave her that look, it looked like he was never gonna fucking see her again. That I remember when we were going through in one of the first streams, right? I think it was like the 4th or 5th stream that we'd done. It was about right now, actually. It was about right now last year that I was going through with you guys back when this place looked like shit. We were talking about it, and the look that he gave her, and I remember describing it as such, was a look of the idea that he would never see her again. And so far, that is what it's looked like. Half a decade since Momokurun. It's been 15 years. Oh, what? Toto, really pleased to hear that. I'm glad that you enjoyed that video. I enjoy it as well. That was like off the cuff. Like I had I was working on my Seiko video, on my Seiko analysis video, which in my opinion holds up, right? But I was releasing it. My plan was to release it, but I had a work trip, so I was away in Spain, and I knew I wouldn't be able to release it for at least another week. So I was just like, oh, I'll make a little tiny, fucking, less than 2-minute video for people on the Discord. I dropped it, and I was like, what do you guys think? And everyone was like, oh, this is really cool. And I was like, I'm just gonna leave it on Discord. And then people were like, well, maybe don't. And I was like, okay, fine, fuck it, I'll upload it. And now it's my best performing video by like what? At least twice as popular as the one after it. I almost didn't post it. It took me like 2.5 hours max to make and upload it. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Uploading that was the right decision. It's grown the channel exponentially. You know, hundreds of subscribers have come from that. But I'm glad that I could influence you to get into Dandadan. That means a lot to me. Because Dandadan is fucking awesome. It's like 4 stars. You're welcome. The audacity of this man. Hi, Hammy. Aw, thank you. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for commenting and letting me know that. That's really exciting. I'm glad that you found your way here. Welcome. You know, we do this every Monday. It's also nice to see that the chat's been so active today. You know? You know, like, sometimes it's a bit slower, especially over the recent weeks. So seeing things heat up a little bit, it energizes me, you know? It keeps me, rolling. This is the stuff that makes making content or doing these streams really worth it, is the ability to kind of just connect with people and talk about something that we all enjoy, you know, and that's a big thing for me. Momoira, that's crazy. Fair enough. I mean, fair enough. My man has his favorites. He has his tastes, but I'm a purist. I'm a Momokurun purist through and through. Through and through, guys. Where we at? Damn, nearly 2 hours, by the way. We're nearly 2 hours in. That's crazy. That is crazy, by the way. Nearly 2 hours in. You know, normally we've well packed up. We've fundamentally packed up from where we were. Okay. But now we are in the second portion. The second half of the stream, and because I already did the pomade, we don't need to redo it. You know? Yeah. I'm really pleased to hear that, Toto. It's a great story to get invested in my opinion. You know? No, there's no. Yeah, no. It's your headcanon thing. I respect that. That's fine. That's, you know. At least you're honest about it, brother. At least you're honest about it. Right. So here we are. Here we are, guys. So we've been working on this for a little while. You know, it's not a fairy tale card thing, but it is card related. The Discord Secret Ship Society. I don't talk about them. I don't talk about the Secret Ship Society. You people with your fancies. Oh, yeah, sister, catch you. I will try my best. But for the like, you know, I gender neutral term, brother, but I hear you. It's like dude, right? Like I call like everybody dude. But I hear you. I'll get that right. But all right, catch you, Toto. See ya. Where were we last time? Who did we work on last week? So yeah, right. So we've got Strength, Wheel of Fortune, Chariot, Magician, Judgment, Hermit, and the Moon. Right. We've made some pretty big progress on this, just generally. The Wheel of Fortune one was pretty fucking perfect. No. I appreciate your preferences, Grabber. No worries. You should always feel comfortable expressing that, for sure. Where am I? Here we go. So what we do is we roll the die. For those of you who aren't aware, we roll the die, and then we explore the tarot and its meaning, and then we'll attribute it to one of the characters. Oh, did you not know we were doing this, Sarah? That's crazy. Hold on. Let me just find the website beforehand so that we're not fumbling about. There it is. There we go. Right. Cool. So, let's roll this die. We've been kind of getting through quite a few of these, generally speaking, but obviously today we've spent a lot more time on the thingy. So you know, we might not get through as many. What's the max? There's a 12. I'll just use 20. Screw it. And if I get anything less than 15, I'll roll again. No. Here we go. 8.
So the Empress. That's boring though, Toaster. I want to see the effect. I want to see the effect, dude. You know? Right, let's have a looky-loo. That's the chariot. What was it? Empress. Oh my god. Okay, the Empress. Right, I'm getting very clear Ida from this, but we'll see. I mean, it lacks her. Okay, femininity, beauty, nature, nurturing, and abundance. Well, it doesn't really. Outside of the superficial, it doesn't really correspond with her that much. While femininity and beauty are banger. I guess not completely inaccurate in regards to nurturing, but she doesn't, I suppose, doesn't really I don't know who this really, because like on the outside this does feel like it attributes itself to Ida, but I actually think that Ida's kind of soul is a bit more self-driven, right? Although I suppose dependence on others, as like the kind of like negative kind of flip on it, is kind of not inaccurate, because she relies on her popularity to kind of like provide her with kind of purpose. Oh no, Burlap, he's right. He's right about that with Chiquitita. Nah, that's a really fucking good point. Guy makes a good point. Right, who we got? Then Reigning Monarch. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is tricky. Yeah, I'll read the description. Yeah. The Empress is a beautiful, full-figured woman with blonde hair and a peaceful aura about her. Aura or Ida? On her head, she wears a crown of 12 stars, showing her connection with the mystical realm, and the cycles of the natural world, the 12 months of the year, and the 12 planets. Her robe is patterned with pomegranates, symbolic of fertility, and sits upon a luxurious array of cushions and flowing red velvet. One cushion features the symbol of Venus, the planet of love, creativity, fertility, beauty, and grace, the essence of the Empress. A beautiful lush forest and winding streams surround the Empress, signifying her connection with Mother Earth and life itself. She draws her sense of peace from the trees and the water and is rejuvenated by the energy of nature. In the foreground, golden wheat springs from the soil, reflecting abundance from a recent harvest. Tricky shit. Tricky shit. This is not the most tidy fic, I don't think. I mean, I don't know that I would necessarily say it really fits super well with Ida completely. Not that the card doesn't fit. Like, not that the card doesn't fit. I just think that there's more to Ida than that. I think that's the problem, right? It's like, it's not a perfect fit. And my worry is that we're going to find something else that's going to fit her better. But I suppose I'm not against it. I don't know who else it would be. Does anybody else have any... This is how Ida sees herself. Yeah, not incorrect. Does anybody else have any suggestions? Or should I just ask Ida yes or no? Queen Sensei. Yeah, Queen Sensei's tricky as well because it's like... Let's have a queen or Ida. Yeah, okay, I'll just drop both of them here. I'll just drop both of them here. Because there is obviously the nurturing aspect does make sense in regards to Queen Sensei as well, based on the fact that she's a nurse, right? And so she's nurturing and she helps heal everybody and things like that. There's obviously a beauty to her. I think that much is clear, just by the way that she's reflected and drawn. Femininity, beauty, nature, all of these things kind of make sense as well for both of them. I actually would probably argue that it would suit her better than Ida in a lot of ways. But, I mean... Children having trouble, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We'll see one way or the other. Yeah, it's tricky because we don't know that much about Queen Sensei as a character. Hey, I'm willing to roll with either of them at this point, honestly. You know? I'm willing to roll with either of them. So, screw it. Looks like Ida is winning, but not by as much as I thought she would be. Not by as much as I thought she would be. I have that 5%, don't forget. I have that 5%. I think it's 5. Or is it 15? Does anybody remember how much I have? Yeah. By the way, it's good to see you generally, Burlap Sack. You know? It's been a second, dude. Me... I personally believe that there is possibly a better card for Ida, but that's just because, like, I think her, I just believe that her traits, the superficial ones, aren't really her defining characteristics. I think that her leadership, her self-determination, I think these are the main things that characterize Ida for me. But, I mean, like, these also do characterize her too. It's just they're not the main ones that I think of. Did you actually trick me into taking less? Is that true? Did you actually trick me into taking less? That's crazy. Oh, I miss you too, dude. No, I'm glad to see you. It's like, it's always great, especially when people are supporting the channel, because I want to make sure that if you're supporting the channel and you're kind of like, especially if you're on the higher tiers, I just want to make sure that you're able to get something out of that to the best of my ability. Right, you've tricked me. Okay, Toaster, you've tricked me. I've decided that I have 18% now. I now get 18% that I can put on top of any vote if I so choose. That's him. That's his doing. He tricked me into doing this. Yeah, you should not have revealed it. He should not have revealed it. Bro's the fool, Taro. You hear me? There we go. Ida it is. Look at him go! Look at him go! Do you see that shit? Do you see him go? Yeah, I mean, I feel like Ida as a character has so many more facets to her that are outside of that. That's just my take, though. That's just my take. I suspect that we'll be moving her around. You know, I think that we'll be moving her around. Yeah, we can swap it. Yeah, we can swap it. Sorry, Steam just showed up there. Do you see that? Cool. Right, next one. Let's go. Hey, come back. Here we go. 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 6. Justice. Justice no jutsu. Alright, let's go. Justice. Just this. Justice stands for justice. There you go, guys. Fairness, truth, cause and effect, and law. Let me just copy this bad boy. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I think about it in Persona as well. You know, the dun dun, and then the chains break, that thing. The figure of justice sits in front of 2 loosely hung purple veil. Wait, did I just say 2? The figure of justice sits in front of a loosely hung... I don't know where I got 2 from. In my defense, there is a huge light right in front of my face. You know, to make me look pretty. Loosely hung purple veil signifying compassion, and between 2 pillars, similar to those framing the High Priestess and the Hierophant. We have not done those 2 yet. Spoilers! Spoilers, which symbolize balance, law, and structure. She holds a sword in her right hand, showing the logical, well-ordered mindset necessary to dispense fair justice. The sword points upwards, expressing a firm and final decision, and the double-edged blade, just like the double-edged sickle in Helldivers, my favourite weapon, signifies that our actions always must carry consequences. The scales in her left, intuitive hand, show intuition must balance that logic and are a symbol of her impartiality. Justice wears a crown with a small square on it, representing well-ordered thoughts, and a red robe with a green mantle. A little white shoe pops out from underneath her clothing as a reminder of the spiritual consequences of her actions. Yo, who's coming up with this crazy shit, by the way? Who's coming up with this crazy shit? I feel bonita. Exactly. Have we already done beta? Yeah, this is beta through and through. A beta. Sorry, I've been looking at fish recently. I've been looking at fish recently. My bad. Your beta. Sorry, your beta. It's from all that looks maxing that I've been reading about. Justice is the card of conflict resolution. It proclaims the need for order, to see through lies and deceit, and a return to the natural state of affairs. Justice implies a sentence, but also due process. Blooming heck, who could that be? I mean, it feels... Yeah, it's called a beta. I know. You better stop fucking undermining what I'm trying to say, Toaster, or you're gonna be rusting out back, bitch. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Nah, I didn't mean that. That's my bad. I went too far. I've gone too far. So, we've got to check the chariot again. Oh, I don't remember what I put on the chariot, though. The chariot. Control, willpower, success, action, determination. Does anybody remember who the chariot was? It was between him and Okrum, wasn't it? God damn it. God damn it. Is Bega that impartial? I think he is. I think he is. He could have killed that guy. He could have killed that guy who fucking killed his family, but he didn't. Right? I feel like that's pretty fucking... That's impartial. I vote for Kodos? That's crazy. Yeah, I mean... I think that would work with him. This is obvious. Justice is obviously... this dweeb. I forget his name. What's his name? What's the bully's name? Hase. Right. Lawful neutral. I feel like justice would work for Bega. Right. So are we gonna have to re-examine Chariot? No, I'm not going through the whole thing again with Chariot. Like, you make a decision. You make a decision now. All right. It feels this is Bega, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna go Bega, Tarot, and then we're gonna go Chariot, Justice. Now I want you guys to know, it's dweeb, fair enough. Shut up, Toaster, Pickle. I'm too used to fucking. I'm not used to having a go at Pickle. All right, the fact that you're acting like the toast machine is very upsetting. No. Now here's the thing. This will be final for Bega. All right. When you choose which one it is, I'm locking it in. No. If you choose to swap, I'm locking it in. Okay? So, that's the new rule. I've decided that if you choose to swap, it gets locked in. So, think about that. You know, you guys picking willy-nilly who gets to go where. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe if you guys had anticipated something else, we wouldn't be in this mess. Did it sway me last time? Pfft. That's past me, alright? He's a different guy. The rider who steers the chariot reigns in the light and the dark sides of the soul with the help of reason. To ride in the chariot is to experience highs and lows, ups and downs. No, because we've already done the moon. I don't know if... I feel like Gigi's thing is not the same. Would that be Gigi? We'll redo the chariot in a second. Alright? We'll have a look at the chariot in a second. It looks like everybody's going with Justice here, rather than the chariot. Okay, I'll go look at the chariot. Everybody's disagreeing on what the chariot is. Control, willpower, success, action, and determination. The chariot tarot card shows a brave warrior standing inside a chariot. He wears armor decorated with crescent moons, representing what is coming into being. A tunic with a square, the strength of will, and other alchemical symbols, spiritual transformation. So this is pretty key. The laurel and the star crown signals victory, success, and spiritual evolution. Although he appears to be driving the chariot, the charioteer holds no reins, just like the wand in the magicians, symbolizing that he controls through the strength of his will and his mind. The charioteer stands tall. There's no sitting down for this guy, as he's all about taking action and moving forward. Above his head is a canopy of 6 pointed stars, suggesting his connection to the celestial world and the divine will. In front of the vehicle sit a black and white sphinx representing duality, positive and negative, and at times opposing forces. Note how the sphinxes are pulling in opposite directions, but the charioteer uses his willpower and sheer resolve to steer the chariot forward in the direction he wants. Behind the chariot flows a wide river, symbolic of the need to be in flow with the rhythm of life, while also charging ahead towards your goals and intentions. Right, so I think that this is... Queen Sensei could have been justice, maybe. Well, I mean, this is tricky. This is a tricky one. The chariot is a tricky one. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot here that works for... I don't think that I would necessarily say that this is GG, personally. I don't think that this is GG personally. I just don't know that I would say that outside of, like, I guess you could say the crescent moon kind of works with the moon, which is currently the evil eye. I mean, this kind of works with anybody with powers. Duality, positive and negative, at times opposing forces. I guess that also... Yeah, maybe. You know what? I do kind of see it for GG. I do kind of see it for GG. No, I do kind of see it with him. Yeah, I do kind of see it as GG, to be fair. The duality, positive and negative, opposing forces, and he uses his willpower to kind of overcome that. Although it isn't really his willpower that overcomes the evil eye, is it? It's Okarun. Right? Chariot is bigger. We can't. We just pick justice. You know? Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I mean, Zuma's not a bad... Zuma's not a bad choice either. Because he pushes through in a world that is... I would say that if you were to ask me... The policeman card. That's crazy. If you were to ask me, I would say that this also works for Zuma. Right? In a more kind of like... in a more kind of figurative capacity. In his own mind, there is that duality, right? That's the central thesis of Zuma as a character, is this immense hatred and an utter despair at the fact that the world is what it is. But despite that, despite this fucking fury that he has for existence, the cruelty of life, he, through sheer willpower, pushes through and tries to find a better way of being for other people, right? He tries to overcome the state of the world just because, and partially, and this is why it works so well with Bega as well, because that same philosophy is one that was passed down to him from Bega. No, I don't believe that, Homer. You can't just, he doesn't just take Bega's lessons as the only thing to guide him. He has to want to run a better world. No. Yeah. And uses that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In spite of the nature of existence being one that is ostensibly cruel, hopeless, and pointless to try to overcome, in the face of that overwhelming reality, he still pushes through. He still has to push through because that's the only thing we can do in this world. And the river also, and I know that this is more of a symbolic thing, be in flow with the rhythm of life. It's at the river that he learns these lessons, not what it is told to him, but what it means. You know? Like, the river is an important symbol in his story. Maybe not in the same metaphorical capacity as it is in this card, but it definitely is symbolic in his actual story, you know? No, he learns from Bega. That's the whole point, that Bega takes him in and he kind of teaches him that there's more to it. That life can be more than just hate, and it has to be more than just hate. And he uses his own lessons to teach him that, and it rubs off on him, right? Like, I don't think that at a certain point, that's not all him. That's not all Bega. He's not living out his life for him. I think that ultimately he has to make the decision. He has to make the decision at the end of the Danmara arc to let go of that hate. And he does. He overcomes that hate in regards to his own mother, right? A very personified representation of the cruelty of the world that he was brought into. You know, lack of direction, the reverse side of it, which seems pretty accurate to Zuma as well. No, again, Homer, I know what you're saying. I don't disagree with you, but my point is that Bega doesn't just insert his brain, his philosophy into like a hypodermic needle. It's not a hypodermic needle kind of situation. It's a he convinces him that this is a better way of being. Look, I hear what you're saying, but Bega telling Zuma these things isn't what convinced him to do the right thing, to take a chance, to be better. It's Bega seeing it in action, seeing Bega jump into the fucking river, right? Like, being in flow with the rhythm of life, even though the currents are strong and cruel and not fair. I mean, they literally drown people, children. Seeing that happen in front of him is what convinces him that he wants to do something. He doesn't want to just stand there and watch, you know? And he jumps in. That's when he accepts the power of his brother. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's when he accepts the power of his brother into him. But not just that, he accepts it under the pretense that he's going to use it for good. That's the whole point. And that doesn't change his philosophy on the world. It just gives him the tools to actually make a mark in it. It's his willpower, in the end, that forces him to choose to overcome hate with love. And that is through willpower, and that is through control, and choosing to be something better. And that is best personified in the relationship with his mother. Zuma's a fucking badass character. Right, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna say Chariot, Taro, Zuma, or GG. It's not that it doesn't fit GG, I just think it fits Zuma better. That's my take anyway. I think that it fits Zuma better. I just think that it takes willpower, man. Like, I know for every single day you go through the exact same kind of struggle, and I haven't experienced nearly as much as many horrible things. Zuma has every single reason, and this is what I love. This is what I fucking love about Dandadan and the way that Tatsu writes, right? It's so easy to make these kind of characters. Did I make a Zuma speech last time? That sounds about right. It's so easy to write these characters as delinquents and not try to explore or understand it. Like, we live in a world of delinquency, right? But that doesn't mean that we're all just born that way, right? Like, you're not destined to become violent. You don't have to be. It's you're raised in circumstances. The world is a fucking awful place. If there were any kind of safety nets for Zuma, and his family, he never would have ended up in the situation he was in. He never would have ended up in the situation that he was in. And life just kept beating the fuck out of this guy, kicking the shit out of him. It wasn't even like fucking when he was down. It's like when he was begging for it to just stop. It just kept fucking kicking the shit out of him. And he still... And yeah, he turned to violence. Who wouldn't? You want to make... You've got all of this hate and this anger inside that has been not just fucking forced down your throat, right, but beaten into you time after time, losing everybody in his whole family. Of course you'll turn to something to make it just to feel something, or to get that hatred out of you. And if that means imparting it onto somebody else, fine, you know. But seeing someone like Baker channel that and give him purpose and relate to him, like you always think about like delinquents or people who break the law as being unfixable, and you just fucking lock them away and throw them away. But he didn't do that. He chose to help reform the guy, you know? It's so sad, dude. I fucking, like, I don't know. I just... No, I am pretty convinced that Zuma is the chariot, yes. It just works. Even the symbols of the card itself work, right, with the river. I just I don't know. I think that it's a very tragic character, and it really is a testament, I think, to Tatsu's writing. You know, that he is not just capable of, but has the desire to write about characters like Zuma, you know, and if there were more like, you know, police officers like Baker, then maybe the world wouldn't be as fucked up as it is, you know. Yeah, exactly. Not all violence is equal, you know. Exactly. And he uses his willpower to overcome his hate, you know. And that is something that he learned from his brother, who, in the face of all of this awfulness, clung onto the umbrella. You know? Yeah, well, I mean, you know, maybe you would have thrown them. That would have been crazy, wouldn't it, if you'd thrown them into the slammer? You know? If you'd thrown Okaruna Rin into the slammer for that would have completely just 180'd it, wouldn't it? It's kind of just a balancing act, isn't it? You know? You let go of one mass murderer, so you need to throw, I don't know, some preschool kids in prison. Whatever, you know, you got to balance the scales somehow, don't you? I was going to say, they could have been fucking loitering. They could have been loitering, Sarah, okay? That's serious, all right? Think of the property values, okay? Jeez, think of the businesses and their shareholders, Sarah. Jeez. Does anybody have that GIF? Does anybody have that GIF of... Oh, that was a video. Won't anybody think of the multi-billion-dollar companies? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Oh, you got it. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that. Yeah, that. Yeah, that. Right. Okay. Right. Now, the question is, do we do one more? Somebody please think of the shareholders. I know, the shareholders. I think I'm going to just not do another one. I think I'm done. I think I'm done for today. Talking about the chapter took far, far longer than I anticipated it taking. which is not a bad thing. Anybody want to take a screenshot? Now's your time. In fact, perhaps I'll do that. There we go. Screenshot. Cool. Cool. Easy. Easy peasy, dude. Big fan. This has been a good chapter. I've enjoyed this chapter a lot, guys. I've enjoyed this chapter a lot. Oh, there it is. Yeah, in the stream shitposting channel. You gonna remember to post it in? Yeah, I noticed that you posted it last time. Which was like a shockingly embarrassing moment for me, because I was like, oh yeah, I said I'll do that, didn't I? Yes, I've already posted it. It's already there. So less cheek, please. This has been a good stream though. This has been a good chapter discussion. You better not delete it. You better not. Tell him to stop. No, this has been a good stream. I've enjoyed it a lot. It's nice to have something that's really just got a lot of energy. You know, like it's got everything. This chapter, apart from Momo and Okarun, it really had most things going for it. You know, I got the opportunity to shit on Nuglover again in a new way, by the way. Right? In a new way. We got a new term for Nuglover to shit on him with. How cool is that? That's pretty groovy, guys. That's pretty badass. Oh yeah, I'm happy to see that you're able to make a recurring appearance, Grava. You know, I'm very pleased to hear that. It's always really cool to see people coming back, just generally. We do this every week, but obviously it's much easier to stay on top of things on the Discord. Patreon link in the description. Join us if you remember to get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan. You know? Yeah. Exactly. That's a good point. That's a really good point, Sarah. That's a good point. He literally and figuratively shat himself last time. You know, he shat all over himself. That's crazy that he did that. Crazy. Yeah, I know. This is gonna be a good. This is gonna be a quicker week. It's gonna feel like it's not as long because purely based on the fact that we aren't you know, we aren't worrying. We aren't worrying about like, oh, it's been however many weeks, or we haven't had a what would you say? We haven't had like we've had this long hiatus, or nothing happened last week, or whatever the fuck. Like, it's nice to just get back to basics. Just nice to get back to the basics, which is that there's stuff happening. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that things are going to get really weird over there, but also, you know, really good interpretations of things are also going to win house points. House stars. They're called stars now. They call them stars now. I didn't write off on that, by the way. All right, they just did it. They went rogue and they just did it. Absolutely unacceptable. But also, like, you know, good for you. You know, yeah, I'm pleased. Update the text. That's great. That means it's even more star mean more good. Yes, more star mean more good. Right, even better. It's half implemented. It's half implemented. That's way better. Yeah. Nice to see that just out of nowhere people just say, fuck it. No, you silly. More star mean more good. Anyway, right. I'm going to finish things up, but before we finish up here today, right here, right now. Yeah, I used to go on Grava. I used to go on Reddit and stuff for it, but I felt like it was really easy to be buried over there. The Discord is the place where I do all of that stuff now. It's a very wholesome community. Everybody's really engaged with each other, and everybody's incredibly kind. and charitable to everybody else's opinions. Yes, but the Discord, always welcome. We've got lots of stuff going on over there. We've also, like I said, we've got a house system and everything, so everybody's kind of like, you know, working towards making cool stuff happen. So I'm excited to have more people. We picked up like 2 people, I think, from today, which is really exciting. But before we finish up, I have so today was a good day with not just with the chapter but with writing. I got fucking loads done, and the rest of the script is pretty much all laid out. Of course, at ISC House. Right, I did not stack I can't give myself points, for the record. None of the house leaders can give themselves points, so it's your fault. It's not my... Everybody... Look, ISC House is coalescing around a common goal. You need to speak to your team. You need to speak to your members, to your house. It's not my fault you guys can't lead. Anyway. What was I saying? Yes, made excellent progress today on the script. The rest of it, what's left, is like, I want to say like 20%, maybe 20% of the script is left. You're talking like 40 minutes of content in there altogether, like 40 minutes, something like that. I'll probably finish writing it tomorrow. Which means I'll be able to start working on proper production of it by Wednesday. And that means just rolling through it and getting it done, making pretty big progress over the weekend, ideally. And then we're talking like, not this weekend, maybe the next, if all goes well. New video content. Then after that, I've got a bunch more stuff that I'm working on. Yeah, I mean, I've got, idea-wise, I've probably got like 4, maybe 5 videos up here. Realistically, some of them Dandadan, some of them not. But yes, so we've got a lot of stuff to do, guys. We've got a lot of work to do here. So we should have a steady stream of content coming out over the next few months. Obviously, January was a bit of an off month generally, so I didn't get much done. So the last video, Space Globalist Arc Retold, was about 2 months ago now. But that's fine. Yes, and then I will be playing something on Twitch this week. I do Twitch streams on the Friday, every Friday. That I believe is linked to the description. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to play though. I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided that yet. So, you know, keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Okay. More visage. I got scared, okay? I mean, I didn't get scared. I didn't say I got scared. The viewers got scared. I'm playing Fortnite. That's crazy. If they release a Dandadan skin set, if they release if they add Momo ISA to Fortnite, I will play it. I wasn't scared. The audience was scared. They told me in the comment section. The audience told me in the comment section. They were like, I was really scared of this. Please don't play anymore. And I was like, but I really want to. I'm really enjoying it. It's not scary at all. And then the comments said, no, please don't, or we will unsubscribe. And I was like, fine. And then I stopped playing it. So think about that. So that's what actually happened. I don't know. maybe I've got a few ideas kicking about on what to play. But, you know, I'll choose I'll do it on the night. I'll do it on the night. You know, maybe we'll play something that I haven't played before. Oh, I've got an idea. There is MGS3. There is an MGS3. Not the full. Yeah, that was Delta. I just. Yeah, well, we went to Delta. I mean, there is an argument for playing the original Metal Gear Solid 3 because I think that's like a perfect game. Now I'm conflicted. Don't worry about it. All right, I'll talk about it on Discord. Is there your idea, MGS? What do you mean? You mean ideal? Ideal MGS. 3 is the best one. Magnifique. Metal Gear reference. Perhaps. Like Invisible, the song. Silent Hill 2 remake was very good. It was very good. But look, I'll talk to you guys. If you guys want to yeah, I know. I like I said, I played a bunch of it. But if you guys want to talk about or suggest some ideas about what to play next, that's the place to do it, on the Discord. Patreon link in the description. Join us free member to get access to the Discord. It's the best place on the internet for Dandadan and also figuring out thingies. Oh, I see. No, that's not my idea. That's cheeky. She's giving me cheek, everybody. But yes, no, that's not my idea. Yeah, there's a Twitch section of the Discord as well. I don't know. You have a thing to say? Okay, well, say your thing quick. Or say it on Discord. Yeah. But like I said, I do have a few ideas. In fact, we should probably I'm just gonna link the Twitch thingamabob, the lit Twitch channel to the general chat. Alright, I thought a sneak. Oh, what? That's dope. Nice mug. Alright. Sky is not currently hanging about, although I do feel like I hear her. Hold on. Ooh. What's the matter, sweetheart? I think she's quite grumpy right now. Are you grumpy? She's grumpy. Yeah, she's being a grump. Cool. What is it? In fact, I'll show you one thing. Wait there, and I'll show you one thing. This is her box. It's called the elevator box. She doesn't like being she doesn't like being picked up. She hates being manhandled, as you just saw. But she does like to be lifted, right? Like, she likes to be kind of close with people. So what I do is I just present her the elevator box, and she'll jump in it so that she can get lifted up without being manhandled. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Oh, there you go. No. Good girl. Right. Yes, she's like Metal Gear Solid. Exactly, guys. Exactly. Anybody is welcome. Anybody is welcome to do a to create some kind of piece of art with Sky wearing a bandana. Anybody is welcome to do that. What is it? You want back up? Anybody is welcome to do that, and they will definitely be winning a house point if they do it. Okay, cool. Okay, we're going. Right, guys. I'll catch you all on the flip side. You say bye? Yeah. Right. See you later. Bye.